Right, good evening, guys. Bit quieter in here now. Now my wee man's on to bed. Start with tonight's boxing. We should probably make a change for everyone's ears because all I've rattled on about is the obvious. But we'll start with tonight's boxing. Obviously, here in the city of Liverpool. Where we have as much as I'm not saying better than anywhere else, but we do have a good history of boxing, obviously. Going way back. Anyway, tonight's boxing, which sadly I couldn't make it to. One reason or another, I couldn't go to the fight tonight, and I would have liked to actually. So, first things first. Amir Khan, 2 years out the ring, obviously badly knocked out by Canelo. Is there shame in that? Like everyone was saying, not for me. No, she's never really been in the ring with Canelo. Again, the bandwagons would all probably jump on Eddie Hearn, or probably blame Eddie Hearn. If the Titanic sank today, they'd probably blame Eddie Hearn. But at the end of the day, no one forces the fighters to get in the ring. Khan wanted to do it. He felt he could use his speed against Canelo, you know. So again, we fast forward to tonight. Now, again, I know what everyone will say, and certainly on the other side of the Atlantic and in other places, not just there. Oh, he's beaten nobody. Oh, who's Phil the Greco? Well, before the fight, people weren't saying that. They were saying, not saying the Greco's some great fighter. He's world level, but he's not that world elite level. Which I touch on with other people, but I try and keep this as brief as I can. For me, you can't do much more. If Khan does that, they call the other guy, oh, he's useless, he's this, he's that. If he stops in mid-rounds, it's, looked a bit laboured. And if he goes the distance with him, well, it's the end of Khan's career, isn't it? As far as the critics are concerned. To be talking very clear. Yeah, it's, so for me, Khan's on a hide, and I think, we all know if he really gets tagged, he'll go over. Like I say, I wouldn't judge it by the Canelo fight, though, because certainly not by that fight. I mean, for one thing, Canelo's, a size and a half bigger than, he's about as wide as Khan and then half again. It is hard to judge tonight. I mean, I was reading somewhere, I think he went 3 or 4 rounds, I can't remember, with, I was reading the other day, 3 or 4 rounds, Phil the Greco went with, oh Christ, what's his name? Is it Spence? I think it was Errol Spence. I think he went the distance with Sean Porter, or 9 rounds or the distance with Sean Porter again. I don't always, get everything right, like I say, and I'm not one to sit and Google. I'll read stuff. If someone's really bugging me, I'll Google it. But anyway, he's clearly been in with good opposition. He's clearly done a decent account of himself. Thing is, Errol Spence flattens him in 3. Everyone's raving, Amir Khan flattens him in 1. It's, oh, he's finished after Spence and Porter, and you know, can't win. You never win when you're a British fighter of any weight, you know. From my point of view, brilliant. Good on you, Amir. Good to see you back. Good, you know. Remember years ago watching the Olympics and everything. Great. Can only be good for British boxing, really. Seen an interview before with Kell Brook, and he was there and he was saying, I like Kell. He was saying, yeah, he wants to do the fight. I know we got in the ring with him afterwards, and naturally there'll be a bit of bad blood. I don't know how bad it is, but you know, that'd be a good fight to see. I really do think. I think Amir Khan would probably give a decent account of himself. I'm not sure he'd beat Kell Brook. I've never, ever, ever fancied him to beat Kell Brook, ever. Whether he was in whatever his prime was now, whenever. He did look bloody fast tonight, but again, the guy didn't get going, so you know, but that's fine. That's fine by me. Just not sure he's got the beating of Kell. I think Kell's got a bit too much ring craft, a bit too savvy for him. If Amir, people talk about Amir, lots of Amir's weaknesses. I don't think he's ever got real old man savvy. That's again, I always say it's just my opinion. But that'll be a good, great performance by him for me. He can't do much more, you know. Like I say, if the lad goes any further, people start on and on. We should have finished him early, you know. So, moving on. Another good little interview I've seen after the fights tonight was with young Connor Benn. Son of the legend Nigel Benn. I don't throw legend about very much. I know my channel's called Boxing Legends, but I regard few people as legends, real legends. Nigel Benn, legend. Connor, very, very wise young man, seems to be saying how, like all young guys, when he first got a lot of money, he was buying silly stuff for silly money, you know, watches, cars, coats, boots, blah, 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 whatever. And now he's in church each Sunday, he's keeping himself down to earth, etc. You don't see him out in pubs, clubs, girls, the other. I've got a ghost in here. Can you just put that back? Sorry about the bank. Don't know what it was, fell blood. So yeah, and I liked the way he said, you know, people are trying to rush him, and he said, I don't want to rush at all. He said, I'd be happy to have another 4 fights this year, 4 slowly progressive, bit better each time fights. That's sensible. The kid's 22, and he says all the right things. I don't think he's just saying it. I think he believes it. He's not a man. You don't get man strength at 22. Some get the odd freakily early developer, i.e. Tyson, whatever, you know, Mike Tyson. But you don't get that real, there's a grit there, and generally. So he's coming along nicely, and I know he had a bit of a rocky time in the previous fight to this, but you know, I think it was more through inexperience and more through thinking he can just blast everyone out of there. I liked what I heard out of him tonight, and obviously the legend stepped onto the screen, Nigel Benn, said a few nice words and that. Nice to see Nigel still looking well. And that. And good luck to them. Good luck to the Benns, Nigel and young Connor. Nigel's been no saint, as he makes no bones about it. He doesn't hide it. But he's a good guy. You'd always got the feeling there was a good heart in Nigel deep down, and fair play to him. So yeah, they were the two highlights, obviously. Certainly for myself. I'm not going to touch on some of the other stuff again. I really am going to leave it alone. I'm going to try and leave it alone now for a couple of days because everyone's just repeating the same things over and over again. So, so I rather enjoyed tonight and seeing some of the little bits and bobs and people talking and that. And yeah, it was a nice little refreshing change, really, from what we've all been drivelling on about. There are other options for Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Obviously, there's potential return with Spence. He'll still insist. I'm not making excuses. I didn't think Kell looked completely himself. He seemed to start off okay, and then I don't know. So there's a potential return with Spence. There's some of the other lads coming up and stuff. And similar for Amir, there's no reason he couldn't have a go at Spence. There's no reason he couldn't have a few people, different people, but it would be nice to see Brook and Khan. I know Eddie Hearn said at Wembley, if there's one thing I do disagree with Eddie on, I don't think we should overdo this Wembley thing. Done at the heavyweights and stuff, and real super fun. It's special, but I don't want that specialness taken away, really. And maybe mix it up more. I mean, I know they've been using Cardiff, Wembley. There's a lot of other big stadiums in Britain that could be used. And I'm not going to say Anfield or Goodison, for that matter. I'd like to see a fight. I've always thought this. It'd be cold, but I'd like to see a fight at Hampden Park or Celtic Park, Parkhead. Yeah. I'd love to see one at Celtic Park. I'd love to go to it. Yeah, that'd be good. It's certainly bloody big enough. It's over 60,000 anyway. Chuck a few more in, I'm sure you get 70,000. I'm sure we could get by with 70,000. More, probably get more actually. So yeah, it'd be nice if they mix it up, not just Wembley, all the while, and Cardiff. You've got Twickenham. There's many different things. So we could take it over the water and do something in Ireland. Many options on our tiny little islands here. Thanks, guys. Hopefully, I still got my bloody sound. I do. Take care all. Like, subscribe. Have a go, as I always say. Most of all, take care all. Best of luck.